Betty Boop was created by Fleischer Studios. It's an animation studio started and operated by Max Fleischer and his brother Dave, and his brother Lou was also involved. But Max and Dave, Max was the face of the Fleischer Studios. Dave was not an animator. He got a director's credit on most of the cartoons, but they worked together on this. Max Fleischer invented a lot of animation mechanical techniques. All of this was before Walt Disney was ever doing animation. Max Fleischer invented a machine called the rotoscope. He invented it. He patented it. Unfortunately, he was not a good businessman. He didn't do any merchandising. Like when Walt Disney came along and Mickey Mouse became popular in the late 20s and early 30s, Walt Disney merchandised like crazy. He started the Mickey Mouse Club, started selling toys, stuffed dolls, any kind of Mickey Mouse merchandise he could sell. Fleischer never did that. He actually sued people more than once for using Betty Boop's images on things, but he never merchandised himself. He didn't consider it important, and he really missed a trick. And ultimately, that's why the Fleischer Studio died, because he just wasn't the kind of businessman that Disney was. But Fleischer was making the most popular cartoons that were not Disney all through the 1930s. But he started in the 19-teens. He was working with Bray Studios in New York, and he invented this rotoscope technique, by which, and the rotoscope technique, I'm about to show you one of his early rotoscope cartoons. He had this character that he just called the Clown. This early silent film, that's Max Fleischer himself. You see him drawing the clown on the paper. And this was a shtick that they did with this Out of the Inkwell series. The characters would emerge directly out of the inkwell, and audiences couldn't get enough of it. This is 1919, by the way, that this particular cartoon was made. The clown at this point didn't have a name. He was eventually called Coco the Clown. But at this point, in 1919, the clown didn't have a name. They just called him the Clown. Larry says, Larry's here. Larry says, I'm here. They haven't started my meeting yet, so I may have to leave, but I'm here until then. Well, welcome, Larry. You'll recognize this Max Fleischer material. But Fleischer, in the 19-teens, around 1919, 1918, 1919, he invented this device called the rotoscope, which, by which he could shoot film of a live film of a human person moving around, and the rotoscope would project the films one frame at a time onto the animator's paper, and the animator could trace the human's movements. You see how Coco is moving here? You can tell he's a real person by the way he's moving. But Fleischer's rotoscope invention, since he was doing all the animation himself, it was just a one-man. Operation at the time. He was doing all the animation himself. It simplified things a great deal for him. At the time, animators were still using paper, and the photographer, the cameraman who edited the animation together would shoot each individual piece of paper as a frame of film. And they only used cells later on, transparent cells, when they would have like Coco the Clown or some other character dancing around in front of live footage. I don't know if this is cell anim. That might have been. But you'll notice a couple of places here, like these two dogs right now. These are paper cutouts. You can see by the way they're flopping around without any animation being done. But this is how Max Fleischer was doing things in 1919. And these Out of the Inkwell cartoons were hugely popular. And they were very innovative. The next thing I'm going to show you will be, let's see, what did I decide I was going to show you? Okay, here's another Out of the Inkwell cartoon with someone created new titles for it. These are not the original titles, but it's called Coco in 1999. And here's Max opening up the inkwell again. You see his hand is a paper cutout there. But you see how much better how much more detailed his drawing technique has gotten at this point. This is 1924. The cartoons are still silent. And he's also not relying on the rotoscope anymore. But this Out of the Inkwell series remained popular for all throughout the 20s. And you see he's about to do another interesting little special effects trick here. Well, I'm glad you were able to come in for a bit, Larry. I hope you're still watching too. I was telling them before you came in, Larry. I was telling them about how of Mice and Magic, how I'm still using this book today. It's a 1980 book by Leonard Maltin, and it's still the Bible today. When I was compiling the collections of cartoons to show today, I was looking up dates and information on these things, and I had questions about the dates of the material that I was finding online. So I got out the Leonard Maltin Bible and looked up the correct dates for everything, old school style. This is again, this is a cartoon called Coco in 1999. By this time, Coco had the name Coco. He wasn't just called the Clown anymore. And Father Time's chasing him through the decades here. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to kill time while the rest of this cartoon plays. I don't have that much to say about this particular cartoon. We'll just watch it while I talk about Max Fleischer. The Fleischers had invented another technique. In addition to the rotoscope, they invented a technique called follow the bouncing ball. A lot of their cartoons during the silent era included sing-alongs of songs for the audience to participate in. Most cinemas had a band, a live band, or in some cases a piano player or an organ player to accompany the silent films. And people were encouraged to sing along with songs. They would project lyrics of songs onto the screen like a karaoke machine, and the bands would play the song and people would be encouraged to sing along. Well, the Fleischers invented a technique called follow the bouncing ball. I'll show you that in a minute, which guided people about the cadence of the words. I guess, again, like a karaoke machine lights up the words as you're supposed to sing them. The sing-alongs, the animated sing-alongs were hugely popular in the 1920s, and even in the 30s when there was sound, they continued to do the follow the bouncing balls. So this is supposed to be their vision of 1999. So a wife dispensing machine, is that what is that what we've got here? Okay, so there's a matrimonial machine who's marrying them automatically. So Coco was saying no. She was advancing on him, and he was shaking his head no until they were married, I guess. How noble. So instead of a honeymoon, they skipped straight to the babies. We've got a wife machine, a marriage machine, and a baby machine. So she tears him right out of the cartoon. With every one of his cartoons, he would do some variation on these special effects. See, this is a giant set that these girls are sweeping. There's a giant ink bottle and a giant telephone and a giant pencil. There's a lot of work went into this. Well, there you have it. Coco in 1999. For a brief time, Max Fleischer had a company there called Inkwell Studios. He left Bray and did Inkwell Studios for a while, and then he and Dave, his brother Dave, started the Fleischer Studios not long after that, and that's the name that we know them from. What am I getting notices about? All right, next one I will show you. This is the sing-along thing I was telling you about. I'll let it play quietly in the background. This National Telefilm Associates, that's not the original titles. These were Paramount. These were released by Paramount. In the 1950s, when Paramount sold all these films to television syndication, organizations like NTA would cut off the Paramount introductions and insert their own television introductions. So most of the cartoons from this era that you see these days, they don't have the original Paramount titles on them. This is the sing-alongs, an example of the sing-alongs I was telling you about in the good old summertime. Most cartoons, just like most movies and most live shows at the time, revolved around popular songs. And Paramount, being a big movie studio, they owned a great many songs. And this is obviously not a silent cartoon. This is from 1920. What is this? 1930. 1930. So it's still an early one. The Fleischers had experimented with synchronized sound on cartoons in the mid 1920s. People liked it, but they were difficult, and they weren't really successful. They involved playing back an audio recording and trying to sync it up with the film, and it didn't always work. It wasn't until 1928 when Disney released the first Mickey Mouse cartoon called Steamboat Willie, which had actual sound recorded onto the film. And of course, 2 years later, by 1930, the Fleischers immediately started using that technique. The animated cartoons in this era were considered, they were not considered animation they were not considered entertainment for children. They were animation for adults. They were considered to be, that was pretty gross. They accompanied movies, feature films that adults would come to see. And the animation studios that had been doing animation up to this point, up to about 1933, they usually included humor that would not be considered appropriate for children even today. Here's the bouncing ball. I'll turn up the volume a little bit.
Let's try it. What do you say? Just follow the ball and sing out loud. Now, everybody, here we go.
You'll notice, look at the way the ball moves. And the audience would sing along with this like a karaoke machine. But look at the way the ball is moving. The ball is not animated. What the Fleischers would do, they would have a staff member holding a flashlight on the end of a stick. And they would go outside in the dark, and they would project the. They would have the words printed on a roll of paper that they would crank up manually, and they would have this glowing ball on the end of a stick, and have a staff member doing like this. And it was filmed in negative, so that it would come out white on black, and they would double expose these illustrations later. You can tell by the way the ball is moving, that's somebody holding an object that's not animated. And then the second chorus, the singers on film kick in to join the audience. And then in the third chorus, you'll see what they do with the third chorus. One of the stories I was reading in Leonard Maltin's book here is that the distributors, the cinema houses said that the sing-alongs were incredibly popular. They would often, in the early days, the audiences enjoyed them so much that they would often rewind the film and show the cartoon again, because the audiences were so enthusiastic about it. This one cinema owner said that sometimes the films would come in and they would be damaged, and there would be a few frames missing where the previous cinema had to splice them together, and so there would be a beat or two missing, and the audiences would be thrown off. But look at what they're doing here with the third chorus. They're mixing animation in with the lyrics. Okay, the farmer was behaving inappropriately with that bear, it looked like to me. Anyway, the Fleischers did hundreds and hundreds of cartoons like this. Stuff that's not seen anymore because nobody's interested in them. It really is remarkable how many cartoons these old studios could crank out every month. Finished pieces of work. Start to finish, from idea stage to story writing to music to animation to editing. Who's still with us? Who's still watching? All right, that was good old Summertime from 1930. Okay, now that you know something about the background of Fleischer Studios, I'm going to start this other cartoon from 1930 called Dizzy Dishes. This is another television intro that was tacked on.
Step right this way to our cabaret. Don't wait to be invited. Just check your room, you'll all find room. Come in and get excited. Then shake your feet, sit down and eat corned beef or macaroni.
You notice in the credits, the animation credits here, it says animated by Grim Natwick. I'll talk about Grim Natwick as we go along. This is again from 1930.
Roast duck.
Roast duck. I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit so I can talk. This character didn't have a name. He didn't have a name at this point. But you can hear how crude the sound and the music are. They were still experimenting with they were still experimenting with sound and music. Hey, Shepard Gray came in. I know him as Graylark from Seattle Online Broadcast Association. How you doing? Thanks for coming in. You're watching us on Periscope of all places. That's interesting. Yeah, Periscope. You'll notice the ethnic humor they have here. There's a Jewish guy and a German guy. Hi, Graylark. We're watching. I'm basically teaching a history class on Betty Boop and Popeye. We've started off with the early Fleischer Studios cartoons. This is from 1930. The animation is still crude. The animators that were working on animation in this age, right after sound had appeared, were the same animators who had been working in the very earliest days of animation in the 19-teens. And the animation was still crude. They were still using the same techniques, basically. Now look who we have here. Now look closely at her. See if you notice anything unusual about her.
I'm so blue, waiting for you to come. Oh, I can't go on like this. Give me a kiss and make me boo-boo-ba-doo-ba-doo. I want to make one, and if I want to make one, I have to have boo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo, boo-boo-ba-doo-whoopee.
Oh, there she is. Betty Boop's first appearance. And she did not have a name at this point. Is Miranda, are you still watching? I hope you saw that. And Shepard, yeah, Shepard's saying, haha, I love it. What did you notice about her? Did you notice something specific about her, Shepard? And Miranda, you chime in too. I want to hear from you. Yeah, very young years of her. Yeah, her design, it was kind of crude, but it was the same. That's Betty Boop. That was definitely Betty Boop. Shepard says not entirely, other than she was mimicking the other characters. Well, I'll go back in a second, and we'll look at a still of her. Who's watching? I see 3 people are watching us. We've got Shep watching us on Periscope, and apparently there's a couple of people on Twitch. Miranda, if you're still here, say hello. But this character who's working as the cook here, he doesn't have a name, but he became one of Fleischer's staples, one of their staple characters in the 1930s. The Fleischer cartoons tended to be somewhat stream of consciousness, and this is a perfect example. They were unlike other animation studios. They didn't start with didn't start with a storyboard or a timing schedule. Each animator would just be working on his own scenes. I'm gonna scroll back here a bit, and we'll look at Betty Boop. Yeah, take a good close look at her there. Wow, Larry says he's back. Are you done with your meeting already? I hope so, because we're only just getting started with Betty Boop. I'm trying to get Shepard to recognize what's unusual about Betty Boop in this first cartoon. Larry, you know what it is. I'm trying to get these other guys to notice. Miranda, are you still here? I hope Miranda's still here. Yes, Larry knows what it is. But it's recognizable as Betty Boop, even though the character design is crude. It's definitely Betty Boop. She's got the voice. She's got the flapper dress. She's got the spit curls. And she even said boop boop a doop in her first cartoon. Shepard says, "You mean the backside being exposed?" No, Shepard, look at her ears. Look at her ears. I'm just going to go ahead and tell him. Nope. He says her hands. Oh, he's saying oh. Oh, now you're starting to get it. I'll let this play a little bit. He says interesting. He says interesting. He says okay then. Yeah. He says, I guess the other characters have it too. Yeah, Betty Boop started out as a dog. She was supposed to be a sexy poodle. But then all the other characters, that's not unusual, because as you're pointing out, every other character in the cartoon is a talking animal. And that was typical of the time. But people are really surprised when they learned that Betty Boop was actually a dog. He says, oh, yeah. Betty Boop was a dog at first. A sexy poodle she was supposed to be. And she was supposed to be a foil for this character. In fact, the next cartoon I'm going to show you, called Barnacle Bill. It's from also from 1930. They put this flapper character in a lot of cartoons in 1930. They began using her immediately because she was popular, even though she still didn't have a name. Oh, Rudy Zamora is listed as an animator on this. I didn't know Rudy Zamora's history went back that far. It's difficult to understand what they're saying at this point. But they're singing a popular song, just like they usually do in these things. Barnacle Bill the Sailor.
A sailor's life is always wild
and free. A sailor's life, the life.
The singing potatoes. I love it.
No one leaves this ship.
Oh, yeah?
So here's this same character again, who still doesn't have a name. But you notice when they talk, you notice how their mouths move very precisely, because the animators knew what the characters were supposed to be saying, like attention, no one leaves this ship, or oh yeah. So they would animate their mouths moving that way, even though the sound hadn't been recorded yet. The Fleischer Studios would do the animation first and record the sound later, which is the opposite of the way everybody else does it. Da 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 da.
It's only me from over the sea. I'm Barnacle Bill the Sailor. I'm all lit up like a Christmas tree. I'm Barnacle Bill the Sailor. I'll sail the sea until I croak. I fight and swear and drink and smoke, but I can't swim a bloomin' stroke. I'm Barnacle Bill the Sailor.
I turned up the sound a little bit.
I'm old and rough and dirty and tough. I never can get drunk enough. I drink my whiskey when I can, whiskey from an old tin can, for whiskey is the life of man.
See, she still she still has the very pronounced dog ears.
Well, hurry before I bust in the door. I'll rear and tear and rant and roar. I'll spin you yarns and tell you lies. I'll drink your wine and eat your pies. I'll kiss your cheeks and black your eyes.
See, these lyrics are not appropriate for family viewing at all.
Sing me a love so low and sweet. Sing me a love so low and sweet.
Says the fair young maiden.
16 men on a dead man's chest.
Said Barnacle Bill the sailor.
Yo-he-ho in a bottle of rum. Oh, hi, big a dig in a rolling sea. Ah-hee-yo-ho, you're the gal for me. Hurrah, my boys, for the Nancy Lee. I'm Barnacle Bill the Sailor.
Now, this is so crudely made. Oh, what are they planning here?
Tell me that we soon shall wed. Tell me that we soon shall wed. Tell me that we soon shall wed.
I've got me a wife in every
Playing
port.
checkers.
I'm Barnacle Bill the Sailor. The handsome
Miranda
gal
says, I'm
is
sorry,
what
but
I
my stream is just
court.
not working
Barnacle
tonight.
Bill
I'll have to
the
come back and
Sailor.
rewatch it. I
With
can't
my
handle
false heart
a
and
buffer every
flattery,
couple minutes.
I court them
Well,
all,
try-
both
go
old
to
and
the
young.
Twitter.
I court them all, but marries
Go to
none.
the,
I'm Barnacle Bill the Sailor.
Go to Twitter and look for the post on Twitter. You can watch it directly on Twitter.
When shall I see you again? When shall I
See if that helps.
again?
Yeah, I'd hate to.
Never again I'll come no more. I'm
I'd hate for you to just miss the whole thing.
Tonight I'm sailing from this shore. I'm Barnacle Bill the Sailor. If you wait for me to come, setting and waiting and sucking your thumb, you'll wait until the cows come. I'm Barnacle Bill the Sailor. Goodbye.
Oh, well, that's it. I know what.
I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit. Look at these mermaid characters. I don't know who they're supposed to be. They look like celebrity caricatures. No idea who they're supposed to be. I'll pause for a little bit, see if Miranda can rejoin us on Periscope. Who's still with us? Who's still watching? Everybody say hello. Let me know who's still watching. Supposedly we have 4 people watching, 3 people on Twitch. It's not showing anybody on Periscope. If Shepard is still watching us on Periscope and Restream isn't telling me about it. But yeah, we're going to move on. Look at some more early Betty Boop. We're almost an hour into this already, and I'm hardly getting started. Let's see. That was Barnacle Bill, 1930. I think I'm going to skip a couple here. Yeah. I'll skip a couple here. Show you one from 1931 called... show you one called Silly Scandals. Larry says, did you know that Captain Bijou was Houston based? No, I did not. I don't know all that much about Captain Bijou. I'll have to look that up. But anyway, here's the same character. Did it give him a name? I'm gonna go back and look. Yeah, they call him Bimbo. Here at this point, it's a year later, they've given this character a name. They call him Bimbo. This is a Bimbo cartoon. He's standing in line to see a vaudeville show. I'm going to skip ahead to the Betty Boop appearance. I skipped too far ahead. Okay, here we go. This is a year later. You see, she has the dress now. She looks more familiar to the way we think of her. She still doesn't have a name, though. She still has the dog ears. And this voice sounds like Mae Questel to me, who was the voice of Betty Boop that we're familiar with. In the first few years, they had different women doing her voices at different times. They were experimenting. This sounds like Mae Questel to me. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead to the next cartoon from 1931 called The Bum Bandit. That was Betty Boop appearing in a bimbo cartoon called Silly Scandals. And there's another bimbo cartoon called The Bum Bandit. In the early 20th century, the word bimbo referred to a dumb little boy. There's some speculation about the origin of the word. Some people think it may have been a contraction of the Italian word bambino, which means child. But back in those days, you called a dumb little boy or a dumb young man a bimbo. And during the mid-20th century, it switched genders. When I was a kid, it meant a dumb woman, a floozy. Nuts. So what do you got in the bag? He says nuts. I'm going to skip ahead.
Get out and do that hold up.
You see the Betty Boop appearance.
Girls and diamonds in all aboard. Bag.
I'm so embarrassed. Oh, dear.
I got my hands up, boss. Yes, sir.
Hey, what's the idea?
Who are you?
Who am I?
Yeah.
Who am I?
Huh?
I'm Dangerous Dan, the sister of Dan McGrew. Believe it or not, my father and brother were tough, but I'm the toughest one of the lot. I'm Dangerous Dan McGrew. Pipe down or I'll fill you with lead. I'm harder than nails and lucky as hell. When I shoot at the body, it's dead. Bring me a barrel of whiskey, a barrel of good old 3-Star, a handful of tacks for a chaser, and a light for this lousy cigar. Who told you you were tough? Why, you can frighten a baby. So cut out this stunt, you poor little runt, before I forget I'm a lady.
My wife!
Right. Remember the night you left me and the kids to go after a quart of milk?
My wife, he says.
Well, haven't you found that cow yet?
No.
Listen. I'm Dangerous Nan, the sister of Dan McGrew. Believe it or not, my father and brother were tough, but I'm the toughest one of the lot.
Let's take the fish right out of the water.
Dan McGrew. Say, who are you making a goat of? Come home and take care of your 17 kids, or I'll crown you with this locomotive.
17 kids. And you also notice that that's not the Betty Boop voice that we're used to. It was another woman doing the voice there. Again, they were still experimenting. And again, she didn't have a name yet. She still has the dog ears. She doesn't have a name. And she was saying, I'm Dangerous Nan, the sister of Dan McGrew. That was a popular, some woman had sung that song, the Dangerous Nan McGrew. It was a reference to a poem that was very popular in the early 20th century called The Shooting of Dan McGrew. There was a character, this tough guy named Dan McGrew, who gets killed in a bar over fighting over a woman. And everyone in the 1920s and 1930s would have gotten that reference. Today, of course, everyone's forgotten it. The first line in The Shooting of Dan McGrew is, "A bunch of the boys were hooping it up at the Malamute Saloon." It may be a line that you've heard before. If you've never heard it before, well, you will when you start. Someday you'll hear it. You'll be watching like a Three Stooges film or something from the 1930s, and someone will make a reference about hooping it up at the Malamute Saloon. They're talking about the shooting of Dan McGrew. All right, moving on to a film called. Let me go back a bit here. Now this has the original the original Paramount Pictures introduction on it. And this film's from 1930. Hang on, 1931. Is it from 31? Yeah. This is only a year later. This is only 1 year later, and look how much more sophisticated the animation has gotten. Larry, if you're still with us, you'll know this cartoon well. Called Bimbo's Initiation. This cartoon, animators voted it one of the best cartoons in history. Number 37 or something like that. Animators still talk about this cartoon today because it's so unusual. Look at how Bimbo's design has changed in just 1 year. And look how much smoother and sharper the animation is. I'll turn off my mic and just let you watch this cartoon.
By the mystic order of the
Boom, boom, ha-cha, boom, boom, ha-cha, boom, boom, ha-cha, boom, boom, ha-cha.
wanna be a member, wanna be a member.
No. There's the way out. Oh.
Wanna be a member, wanna be a member.
No. Ouch! Oh, yeah, come on. Oh.
Wanna be a member, wanna be a member.
No. In there.
Hello, May. I've got a bone to pick with you.
No. Ouch! Oh. Uh-huh.
Come inside, big boy.
What a pippin'.
Oh, oh dear. Gulp. No.
Wanna be a member?
Yes.
I love that cartoon. That's one of my all-time favorite cartoons. There's so many great things about this cartoon. The animation is great. The gags are great. The visual humor is great. The music is great. The timing of the whole thing is just really great, and it has a great payoff. It actually has an ending. Like so many of the Fleischer cartoons from the time didn't really have an ending. They would just, after 7 or 8 minutes, they would just stop the cartoon. This one actually has an ending. There were of course, they were not drawing on paper anymore. They were using full-on cell animation, and you saw there were so many environments that Bimbo was running through and falling through that were moving in 3 dimensions. Not even Disney was doing anything like this in 1931. There was a cartoon I showed a couple of weeks ago. It was a Mickey Mouse and Pluto cartoon called The Mad Doctor, where Mickey Mouse falls through a brick tunnel that moves in 3 dimensions. But it wasn't as good as this. And the Fleischers did it a few years before that. I love I love the humor in this. I mean, he's the moment where he sees a bicycle and he jumps on it and starts pedaling, and it turns out to be a spank machine. And then he doesn't want to join the cult until he sees that it's a cult of Betty Boops, and then he's all in favor of joining, and they end with spanking each other. It's just a hilarious cartoon. And Betty Boop, she still didn't have a name, and she still had the pronounced dog ears. Who's still with us? Who's still watching? Please, people who are watching, please say hello in the chat. Please say hello. I very much want to know who's watching, and where you came from, how you found us. I want to know that I'm actually talking to somebody, or if I'm just yammering on into the void here. The next film I'm going to show you, that was Bimbo's Initiation. Here's a Betty Boop cartoon
Whoopee! Yip! Yip!
that I had not seen before. I didn't see this until yesterday, or earlier this week when I was looking for cartoons. And look how, it's called Betty Boop Co-Ed, of course. And you saw how unusual her design is in this particular cartoon. And it's an example of another follow the bouncing ball thing. Larry says still here. Good. Hi, Larry. And again, this one was a surprise for me because I'd never seen it. And for it to have such an unusual character design, obviously not animated by the same same animators who usually did Betty's character design. I wish there were a better copy of it. This was the only thing I could find. She has a name at this point. I have no idea what's going on in this cartoon. No clue. A trumpet playing spider. Weird. Tuba playing squirrel. A dancing tree, okay. I really do wish this had better quality so I can get a better look at this.
Betty Coed has lips of red for Harvard. Betty Coed has eyes of Yale's deep blue.
Sounds familiar.
Betty Coed's a golden head.
This is Rudy Valley.
That dress, I guess, is black for old Purdue. Betty Coed's a smile.
Sitting there very uncomfortably, pretending to be casual. But this is an original song created for this cartoon and created for Rudy Valley to sing. They recorded a record of it.
Hi-ho, everybody. I suppose you are all familiar with the very popular Betty Coed. Oh, in a nice way, of course. So let's all sing the most popular girl on every campus. Our old friend, the bouncing ball, will act as cheerleader.
And here we
Are
go
you
with the
all
bouncing
ready?
ball.
Get set. Let's go.
Flirtation is an art with Betty Coed.
Now this bouncing ball is animated.
Quite depends upon her charm.
At this point, they were not doing the live action handheld bouncing ball anymore.
Betty Coed has lips of red for Harvard. Betty Coed has eyes of Yale's deep blue. Betty Coed's a golden head for Princeton. Her dress, I guess, is black for old Purdue. Betty Coed's a smile.
What a dumb song. It's kind of catchy, but it's a dumb song.
Betty Coed is loved by every college boy, but I'm the one who's loved by Betty Coed. She made a wreck of Carnegie Tech and all of its engineers. She did the same at old Notre Dame, and her line is good for years. Roguish eyes.
Now keep in mind, at this point, Betty Boop as a character had only been around for about a year. And she already has Rudy Valley, a big recording star, recording a song about her. And look at this weird character design. I've never seen Betty look like that in any cartoon.
Betty Coed has lips of red for Cornell. Betty Coed has eyes of navy blue. Betty Coed's a golden head for Amherst. Her dress, I guess, is white for Georgia too. Betty Coed's a smile for old Northwestern. Her heart is Texas pleasure, so she said. Betty Coed is loved by Betty Coed. With a B, with an E.
Did you catch
with a
that?
B, E, T, with a D, with
The
a Y,
graduates march
with a
into the
B,
postgraduate
E, T,
building
Y.
and they come out
Betty,
as
Betty,
janitors. Wow, that was harsh. That was harsh. Okay, I didn't notice that gag before. That was a much more interesting ending than I remembered. Wow, harsh. And still true today. Okay, that was Betty Coed. Now, before we go on with any more Betty Boop cartoons, I want to. Okay, why don't we have any sound on this? That's interesting. I'm not hearing any sound. It looks like you all are hearing it. It looks like the sound is broadcasting. I'm not getting any sound on this. Yeah, can you all hear this?
He's no fool boy. But that's
I'm not hearing anything from this film.
up in his Latin
Let me
and
pause it. What's going on here?
button is shaking.
This is bizarre. I don't hear any
When I want
any sound coming from this film.
and I gotta have some love.
Somebody who's watching, tell me if you hear this film, if you hear the sound on this film. Oh, Larry says we can hear. For some reason I can't hear it. Let me see. Okay, headphone out.
No.
I'm having a headphone malfunction.
You know, I know something.
Yeah, I'm having a serious headphone malfunction.
They only had
Let's see.
You know, I'd let him pet me. But it's on hold. He doesn't let me.
Let's see.
You do all that.
Okay. Yeah, this isn't working. This is bizarre. Why did it suddenly quit on me? Okay, now you're not hearing it. Let's open sound settings. And now you should be hearing it again. But I'm not hearing it. I don't hear anything. That's weird. Anyway, this is a movie of a performer named Helen Kane. And in 1932, when Betty Boop had been around for 2 years, she sued Fleischer for ripping off her act. And I think you can see why. The thing is, you'll notice the first Betty Boop cartoon, when it started, I pointed at the credits and said, and I said, "There's Grim Natwick's name in the credits as the animator." Grim Natwick said he lived until the 1990s, I think, but he always said that when he first when he did that first Betty Boop drawing in that first Betty Boop cartoon, he was doing a caricature of Helen Kane. It was Helen Kane. And when Paramount cast voices for Betty Boop early on, they cast 4 different women, including Mae Questel, which is the one that we know of today. They cast 4 women, and all 4 of them they had gotten from a contest they had hosted that was a Helen Kane impersonators contest. So Betty Boop was definitely a Helen Kane caricature. She was intended to be Helen Kane and sound like Helen Kane and look like Helen Kane. So in 1932, Helen Kane sued the Fleischers. But the Fleischers got the case dismissed. And they did it by coming up with a film. What in the world is wrong with the sound here? Coming up with a film of this performer named Baby Esther. Now listen closely. Did you hear her say boop boop doop there? They pointed out that Helen Kane was familiar with the work of Baby Esther, and that after Baby Esther, Helen Kane started doing the boop boop doop shtick. Anyway, they got the case dismissed by pointing out that Helen Kane, I could hear that film by the way, pointing out that Helen Kane was not the first woman to dress as a flapper with spit curls and to sing like a baby and say boop boop doo. When they showed the judge this film of Baby Esther, he said, okay, okay, we're done. So Helen Kane did not win her case against the Fleischers. Let's move on. That was 1932. Now here we are, a year later, in 1933.
She can win you with a wink. Wait till you get a view of sweet Betty. Those eyes, that pretty nose, and oh, aside from these, she's got so much of those. If you want to see just a perfect little she, wait till you get a view of little Betty Boop.
This is the first cartoon that was officially titled a Betty Boop cartoon. And she has her own theme song now, you noticed. The Overture. Who's still watching? People let me know who's still watching. If it's just Larry, I'm gonna be despondent. I mean, I'm glad Larry's here, but I really wish there were more people here. I think I'm going to skip ahead. The mayor of Hicktown is called upon to shoot off his mouth. Maybe I'll watch this.
In conclusion, before I start, I would like to say that on the one hand, but on the other hand, in the final analysis, we shall find the answer at the polls or even the Dutchman's. Let us face the fact, unaccustomed as I am
At
to
the polls or
public
the
phone
Dutchman's.
booths, the time has come to match my private life with any man. Are you matching me or am I matching you? From the rock-bound coast of Maine to the rock-bound coast of Maine, I swear that I will bring back prosperity by reducing the taxes on Persian rugs. Carpet taxes will save you.
The new ship SOS. I think we know where this is going. Yeah. Actually, I thought it would sink in the water. It's actually pretty cute. Yeah, Larry is still here. Bimbo and Coco. Now look who's back. Coco the Clown. With Bimbo. They are now Betty's sidekicks. Betty is no longer appearing in Bimbo's cartoons. Bimbo is appearing in Betty's cartoons. And now here's Coco. The end. You know what? I guess they were making fun of their own senseless cartoons from the past. That's pretty funny. And here's what we've been waiting for. Betty Boop appearing in her own first cartoon. First time as a title character. This is the first time she's appeared without the dog ears. She's got the earrings that we're used to, the dress. And And she's got the voice of Mae Questel, so she's complete at this point in 1933. Another hat joke.
My weakness now.
Hello, Betsy. Maybe you could giving out a little imitation from me, no?
Okay, Fanny. Look at me, oh, look at me, oh, ho. I'm an Indian, aha, I'm an
What?
Indian. Down in the feet is the mountain, for the shoes. Up in the back is a little bit.
There's some rotoscoping going on here too. Look at the way she's moving.
I'm a goose, it's a goose, it's a goose, but I'm an Indian.
Very realistic human movement.
I'm an Indian.
Can you imitate me, Betty Boop?
Yes.
I think so.
Then do it. And do it right now.
Right now, Chevy.
Apparently we still have people watching on Twitch. I can't tell who's watching where. It's 8:30 now already. We've been doing this 90 minutes.
Hello, beautiful. How'd you get so beautiful? Where'd you get the sunshine in your smile? Oh, tell me, beautiful. Where are you going, beautiful? How'd you like to romance with oh, when you're near, what joy and cheer you're bringing. Can't you hear the bees and birdies singing? Oh, yes. Hello, beautiful. Oh, how can you be beautiful? 50 million Frenchmen can't be wrong.
Dirty Dozen. What? Really? Okay, gonna move on to the next item on the list. What did I choose next? Stopping the show. I am gonna play. I'm gonna skip ahead to Betty Boop's May Party. As an example of Betty Boop's more popular cartoon format. We're getting into the Betty Boop that we're used to seeing. I'll turn off my mic and let this play.
Made of pen and ink, she can win you with a wing. Ain't she cute?
Boop, boop, be-doop.
Sweet Betty. La-la-la-la.
Here we are, you and I. Let the world hurry by. Just let me give you kids an earful. Go on and be cheerful, 'cause here we are. Thank you, thank you.
Mama, Mama.
Boy, some fun!
Okay. Betty Boop's May Party is one of my favorites. It's an example of what most Betty Boop cartoons were like, just stream of consciousness insanity. I'm going to skip ahead here to, let's see, Betty Boop's May Party. I'm going to play the first Popeye the Sailor cartoon. It's 1933. I'm going to switch cameras. Let's see. Yeah, we should. I should be switched to a different camera here. Nope, somehow I've got the wrong camera. Window capture is on. Okay, there we are. Let's go to the episodes. And Popeye the Sailor. Let's play this first Popeye cartoon. Again, this is 1933. You notice it's a Betty Boop cartoon.
Right up a whale, stand in a row. Don't let him go. He's a cinch, but every inch a sailor.
Strike up the band for Popeye the Sailor. Cash in his
See, there's Betty introducing him.
Stand in a row. Don't let him go. He's a cinch, but every inch is
I'll turn off my mic and let's watch the cartoon.
I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm strong to the finish, 'cause I eat my spinach. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm one tough kazookas, what hates all palookas, what ain't on the up and square. I biffs 'em and bumps 'em, and always outroughs 'em, and none of 'em gets nowhere. If anyone dares to risk my fist, it's buff and it's wham, understand? So keep good behavior, that's your one lifesaver with Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm strong to the finish, 'cause I eats my spinach. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Well, blow me down.
Shore leave!
Popeye! Oh, Popeye! Oh, Popeye!
Who you waiting for, baby?
Fish! Push him up! Push him up! Wah, 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 wah. You! I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
Over here, our hula hula dancer, Betty Boop. Marry me.
Let me go, you big
I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
Well, there you have it. The first appearance of Popeye in an animated cartoon, which was actually a Betty Boop cartoon. Betty Boop acted as the intro for him, but really that was a Popeye cartoon. And it follows the Popeye formula that we're all familiar with. Popeye and Olive Oyl are out doing something. Bluto starts making trouble. Popeye whips out a can of spinach and then kicks ass. Popeye was already super famous. You saw the cartoon started there with a newspaper announcement that Popeye is becoming a movie star. He was already a star in the newspapers. Big star. And Max Fleischer made arrangements with King Features to start making animated Popeye cartoons. And it was big news. The voice, the voice was very similar to the Popeye voice that we're used to, but it was not the same guy. It was a different guy, but the voice was there. The guy whose voice we know as Popeye, his name was Jack Mercer. He was working as an in-betweener, an animator's assistant at Fleischer Studios, and he was doing a really good Popeye imitation. He did a really good imitation of the guy who was doing the Popeye voice. And so they started paying Jack Mercer to do the voice of Popeye, and that's how Jack Mercer became Popeye. They didn't have the voice of Olive Oyl right yet. Her voice was very strange. Mae Questel became the voice of Olive Oyl as well as Betty Boop, and she became the voice that we know. Bluto was a minor character from the comic strips who appeared only once. He had appeared only once. He was not a regular character. They chose Bluto to be the villain. I think it was a good choice. But yeah, all the elements were there. You notice Betty was dancing the hula. They were reusing some animation that they had done with Betty earlier that year, where she did a hula dance to some music from a popular recording group from Hawaii. And also, you notice that Popeye's theme song was there, fully formed. They had the very first Popeye cartoon had the Popeye theme music with the words and everything. The composer was a Broadway composer named Sammy Timberg. And the story that I read, and I wasn't able to find this, I looked for it, but I couldn't find it. The story that I read was that Sammy Timberg sat down with the Fleischers to create this song for Popeye to sing. But he was going on vacation, so he spent this Friday afternoon he spent a couple hours just knocking out some samples, and he just said to them, "Okay, here's an example of the kind of thing I would do. It would be like a sea shanty kind of thing." Da 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 da. And then he left on vacation, and he came back a few weeks later, and they were already recording it and to put it in the cartoons. And he was like, "What? Wait a minute!" But then that turned out to be the most famous song he ever wrote. You know, it bought him a vacation house, everything. So there you go. That's the origin of the Popeye theme song. At least that's what I remember reading. Now, what was the next choice that I made to show you here? Who's still with us? Larry, you still with us? I still show 3 people watching, but Larry is the only one who's talking to me. The next one I want to show you is also from 1933. It's a Betty Boop cartoon. Okay, this is messed up. I'm switching back and forth between cameras, but I'm getting the same. Yeah, this ain't right. Okay, I'm gonna switch to Betty Boop 1933. Where'd it go? All right. Let's find out. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to delete this window capture and just add a new one, because I'm getting the wrong window capture here. Yeah, there we go. And let's adjust the picture. Let's crop the picture here. Get this done real quick. And then stick it in right there. And put it hold on, where is it? Okay, I've still got, there it is. Okay. Alright, there we go. This is from 1933. It's a Betty Boop called The Old Man of the Mountain. It is my favorite Betty Boop, my personal favorite Betty Boop cartoon. I will turn off the mic and let's watch it with Cab Calloway.
Mountain.
white beard and a crooked stare. Tramps along with the folks all scared. With a dickle in his eye, he passes them by. The old man of the mountain, for he wears long hair and his feet are bare. They say he's mad as a greasy bear. His cares are none and he fears no one. The old man of the mountain, he talks with the bears when he's lonely. Sleeps with the sky for a tent, and he'll eat you up when he's hungry. And it wouldn't cost him a red cent. And he'll live as long as an old oak tree. He'll eat up fools like you and me. Oh, I often sigh and jump and cry at the old man of the mountain.
I'm going up to see that old man of the mountain. What's that?
The old man of the mountain.
Thank you.
The old man of the mountain. You got to hold-dee-ho.
You gotta hold-dee-ho.
You got to hide-dee-hide.
You gotta hide-dee-hide.
You got to heed-dee-heed to get along with me.
Yeah, man, how
You got to learn my song.
I got to learn your song.
If you do me wrong,
I'm gonna do you wrong.
you got to kick the gong to get along with me.
What you gonna do now?
Gonna do the best I can. You got to hide-dee-hide.
You got to hide-dee-hide.
You got to heed-dee-heed-dee-heed.
You got to heed-dee-heed-dee-heed.
You got to head-dee-head-dee-hey to get along with hey.
Hi.
Hey, ho! When your sweetie tells you everything will be okay, just keep it the bop and the good to skilly big nip the bop the bip buddy. If you feel like shouting, advertise it just this way. Skiddy to scatter, let's keep it in the hurry up, skiddy bitty well. Skiddy to keep it in the bop and the skilly bitty hop, dilly bitty hop, dilly bitty lay. Oh, skiddy bitty well.
All right, there it was. My favorite Betty Boop cartoon, my personal favorite, with Cab Calloway. A great example of the kind of music they were featuring, the kind of acts they were doing together with the musicians of the time. They did a number with Cab Calloway, including St. James Infirmary, and that's my personal favorite. I love the song. And another example of the kind of humor they were doing that was not appropriate for family audiences, when Betty comes across the woman who's crying. She says, "What's wrong?" She says, "The old man of the mountain," and there's 3 babies in the carriage. I love it. And Betty's outfit in that cartoon, really great outfit, very stylish. The next thing I chose, what did I choose to put on here? Another Popeye cartoon. This one entitled "Let's You and Him Fight." You know what? I think I'm going to have to switch discs here. Let's see. I'm using this disc set, by the way. The Popeye DVD collection, Popeye the Sailor, 1934 to 38, published by who published this? I think it's Warner Brothers. Turner Entertainment and Warner Brothers. Yeah, it's a Warner Brothers series. You see the Warner Brothers logo there from Turner Entertainment. And I'm going to have to switch discs here. Let's see which disc has "Let's You and Him Fight" on it. It should be, no, it's on disc 1. I pulled out disc 1 and I'm going to have to put it right back in. Now let's see how this screws up my my disc plans here. Do we still have? Yeah, okay. Come on. Okay. Episodes. There we go. More. That's what confused me. "Let's You and Him Fight." This is an example of a crude early Popeye cartoon. This is 1934. The Popeye cartoons at this point are still very crude.
This way, right over here. See 2 of the roughest, toughest fighters in history training for the battle of the century. You ain't never saw none better. You ain't never seen none better. You ain't never seen none better. Over here we have the champ, Bluto. And over here, the contender, Popeye the Sailor.
I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Oh, la 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 la, what a silly but bloody I know. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Rock!
Please don't fight tonight, Popeye. You're liable to get hurt. Tell me you won't fight, huh?
If you fight tonight, I'll never see you again. So you won't talk, eh? Goodbye.
Wow.
I am what I am, and that's all what I am.
You're on, Popeye.
It was quite the massage he was getting there. And we still don't have Olive Oil's voice worked out yet. This moment here with Bluto punching Popeye into the ropes and him bouncing back had become a popular animated GIF. I downloaded it a few years ago.
Get in there, you swamp! Fix it up!
Here it is again.
Now they're in the center of the ring. There goes a right and a left. He's up!
He's down!
Popeye's taking a terrific beating, folks. Oh, boy, what a fight. Oh, boy. Ludo's pounding away at Popeye's midsection. There goes a right to Popeye's jaw, and a left, and a right, and a left. The crowd is going wild. There must be something wrong. Popeye's not fighting. He's hanging on. There goes another right, and another, and another. Popeye is down.
Fight, Shapalooka, fight!
Let him hard, Popeye! Get in there! Get out of it! You can't fight to recover. You can't take it,
Come on, Popeye! Give it to him! Give him that twister punch! Right in the kisses! In the breadbasket! Come on, give it to him! Come on!
When he's okay, baby, when he's okay, I'll look at the next round, that big ham.
And buns up! Give it to him, Popeye! Give it to him!
Let him on, Popeye! Popeye, get in there! Come on, give it to him! Give it to him, Popeye! Oh, yeah! Hey, Popeye! I'm Popeye the Sailor Man!
Okay, they were doing the Stars and Stripes Forever there at the end. This is only 1934, and they're already doing the Stars and Stripes Forever music when Popeye goes off on Bluto. And then Popeye cheated at the end there. After the fight was over, he threw another punch. Let's see, what did I choose next? The next thing I'm going to show you is Poor Cinderella, 1934. We're still going in chronological order. I'm still showing 3 people watching, but I don't believe it. This is a Betty Boop cartoon. Larry, I'm sure you've seen this. Betty Boop very famously didn't do color cartoons. In all of the years that Fleischer made Betty Boop cartoons, they did not make any color Betty Boop cartoons except once. They did exactly one, and nobody sees it anymore. It was called Poor Cinderella, and we're about to see it right here. The question I want to ask you before I show it is, what is the color of Betty Boop? What is the color of Betty Boop's hair? We've seen her in color so many times in modern times. She has the classic black, slicked down, spit curl flapper hair. But what color did the Fleischers intend for her hair to be? That's the question I want to ask you, because you're about to see. Larry says, I'm starting to fade, but I love Poor Cinderella. All right, we'll start it. Now you'll notice the color here is really odd. And it's not because the film is old. This is a restored film. It's because it was recorded in Cinecolor, not in Technicolor. And Cinecolor came before Technicolor. You see down there it says the Cinecolor process down at the bottom of the credits. Cinecolor was a two-color process that used blue and red to simulate full color. But of course it wasn't complete full color. The blues come out more greenish. There are copies of this on YouTube that call themselves restored, with blazing blue, bright colors, but they're not really restored. They're colorized. I believe this is what the film looked like at first when it was originally released. But let's watch. Her hair is red, and she has blue eyes. This is not how we think of Betty Boop these days. And this is not Mae Questel. This is a different woman.
For that's where I meet my Prince Charming. When I'm with him, cares fade away. I'm just a poor Cinderella, but I'll be a princess someday. Cinderella!
Look at this amazing background painting. Look at the detail on the wallpaper and the rugs and the bedspreads.
I hope you enjoyed the ball. Nobody loves me.
It's a big candle.
Cinderella, pretty Cinderella, you're unhappy, I can see. I'm your fairy godmother, listen to me. Dry your little eyes, there is no need to cry at all. You're so kind and gentle, you'll go to the ball. Go fetch me a pumpkin, a large one, my dear, 6 mice and 2 lizards, and bring them right here.
Oh, here they are. Oh. Oh. Here they are.
You can never be half as happy as we. I'm so overjoyed to be with you, and this is why I was almost cut up for pumpkin pie. My lady.
Oh. Ooh.
Remember, when the clock strikes 12, you must be home by then. For should you fail to be in bed, you'll be in rags again. Remember, remember, remember.
Oh.
This is another thing that the Fleischers were doing. They were doing it mostly in their song cartoons that we've not been watching. You see that the environment that the carriage is riding through is actually a model. It's actually a tiny little set that they built. It's not a painted background. It's a three-dimensional model that they built. And they did this for, they built hundreds of these for the various cartoons they did in any given year. And there's no record of the artists who built these, who they built them, how they built them.
Hail the Prince!
Oh.
See, this is a model. This interior shot here, this is a model. Those are cutouts. There's Rudy Valley again.
Like a poor Cinderella, I find my romance in dreams. Ba-ba-ba-bee, ba-ba-ba-ba-bee.
This is some rotoscoping again. Look at those background paintings. Just gorgeous.
Silence! Who was that beautiful maiden? Have you no tongues? Then I, the prince, do now declare, whosoever this slipper can wear, my throne will share.
Look at that structure. They built that just for trying on shoes. This is a three-dimensional set built on a giant rotating table. It's just amazing. And they built these things for most of the cartoons they did during this period, and each one appeared on screen only a few seconds. It's an astonishing amount of work.
Now you see, it's all your
My fault, you impudent thing.
Oh, shut up, you jealous
How dare you? For 2 pence, I'd slap your face.
Oh, you will, will you?
Yes, I will. What are you going to do about it?
All right, that was the spectacular Poor Cinderella. The only Betty Boop cartoon made in color, and it was in Cinecolor, not Technicolor, and Betty Boop has red hair and blue eyes, which we just don't think of her that way anymore. The next thing I'm going to show you, another Popeye cartoon, and this one, we're starting to get into the type of Popeye cartoons that we're really familiar with. Let's switch over to the DVD. It's called A Dream Walking. We're still in 1934. But with this cartoon, they're really starting to get into the swing of the Popeye voice, the Popeye aesthetic. Olive oil. She's got Popeye and Bluto hanging on her wall. I've never understood olive oil, honestly.
What's that?
It's olive oil.
Oh.
So they all live in the same building?
I gotta save her.
I'll save her. You Popeye freak.
You Popeye freak.
I told you I'm gonna save her.
Sazzle. Tough guy, wise guy.
And Popeye still has that strange hopping, that hopping horse trot that he runs with. So they're still working on him. Larry, you still awake? Speaking of sleepwalking.
Hey, there's a sleepwalker up there.
That's still not Jack Mercer. That's still not the voice of Popeye that we're used to.
She'll awaken when she falls.
Oh, she'll awaken when she falls. We'll see nothing up there.
Oh, that'll hurt you.
Larry says nobody captured urban life and animation better than the Fleischers. Yeah. The Fleischer cartoons had an urban realism and an urban aesthetic to them.
Oh boy, I missed it. I missed it.
Both with their visuals and with their style of humor. Very much unlike Disney, which is fantasy-based.
I see it. Come on, Olive. Come on, Olive. Oh, I can get right on. This way. Over here. Over here.
I told you
I say that. Oh, yeah? Boy, that's just what I want. That's the thing I want.
Yeah, just rip up the whole crane structure.
At last, I got it. Oh. Wham. Oh, boy. Oh, just let me open this thing. To get off this, I'll show you something. So we'll follow me up.
Oh. You notice how much mumbling Popeye and Bluto are doing is the Fleischer's animation style, their approach to the animation process, like I was saying earlier. They did the animation first and recorded the sound later, and that gave the voice actors the opportunity to ad-lib throughout the cartoon, to mutter under their breath. Okay, Bluto sees the spinach rage coming. Look at this hand-drawn 3D model here. See, they could do, the animators could do this animation. They had gotten into a groove where the animators could do this animation, and then they knew that the voice actors could ad-lib with this great incidental mumbling dialogue to it. Nobody else approached animation this way.
Well, blow me down.
Oh! How dare you hang around my window, you peeping Tom!
I saw my duty and done it. 'Cause I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
They got Olive's voice worked out finally. That was definitely Mae Questel. Mae Questel said that she was, when she was doing the voice of Olive Oyl, she was doing an imitation of Zesu Pitts, a comedian at the time. If you've never seen any Zesu Pitts, look her up on YouTube. She was hilarious. What did I choose to show next? I'm going to skip ahead to a Betty Boop cartoon called Betty Boop and Grampy, because this is 1935, and by this time, only 4 years after Betty Boop's creation, censorship had come into film through the Hayes office. The cinema owners were really screeching about the adult humor, especially in cartoons. And so Betty Boop had to put on longer dresses, to dress a little bit more demurely, and she had to introduce other characters.
Dear Betty, I'm giving a little party. Come right over, bring the gang. Grampy! Such a darling.
They introduced new characters to Betty all the time. And look, there's a 3D model here. She's walking through a 3D model that they just used for a few seconds of film. Look at this tremendous model. And I love this song. I love Grampy's theme song here. Oh my God. Oh my God. Now see, that's great humor without being sexual humor. Just slapstick. Oh gosh, I wonder what's going to happen here. Yep. Larry is saying goodnight. He says, I'm taking off thanks to terrific stuff. I'm glad you're here, Larry. Pretty soon we're going to get to Popeye meets Sinbad, as I'm sure you would anticipate. But we're mostly done. I've been going for 2.5 hours on this now. But Grampy is an example of a new kind of character that the Fleischers had to introduce into Betty's cartoons, so that there could be some kind of humor other than just constant sexual humor and constant sexual harassment. But they did a good job. These are hilarious cartoons.
How do you do?
And Grampy has himself a handshaking machine here, which I think we need today, honestly. I tell you what, though, we do not need to be storing our fruit punch in the chandelier. That would be a bad idea. The cop and the fireman just walked off the job. It was one thing for the movers to walk off the job, but the cop and the fireman? There's cartoon physics at work here. Look at the size of that cake.
Is that good? Say, Grampy, how about some music?
Music?
Now see, Grampy could just put on a record here, but of course he's not going to do that. He's going to be a lot more complicated.
I've got it.
tiger rag. The tiger rag gets used in all the cartoons during this period. All right. That was Betty Boop and Grampy. We're going to switch back to the DVD and show you, oh look, the Popeye Popumentaries. I'm going to show you a couple more Popeye cartoons. There we go. There we go. Perfect. All right, episodes. Let's go to Brotherly Love, because you need to see this one. 1936, Popeye and Brotherly Love by the Max Fleischer Studios. I'm actually going to turn off my mic and watch the cartoon.
We will now hear from the president of the Women's Brotherly Love Society, Miss Olive Oil.
What we all need is brotherly love. You can't go wrong with brotherly love. Let everybody be one great big family. No scrapping, no yapping, how happy we will be. Now I don't care whose brother you love, as long as there is brotherly love. Make every Tom and Dick and Otto obey our golden motto, 'cause what we need is brotherly love. Are you listening, Popeye? Make every Tom and Dick and Otto obey our golden motto, 'cause what we need is brotherly love.
That's a swell idea. Waiter. The check.
Oh, that's the sensor. There you are, handsome. Oh, brotherly love, huh?
Cause what we need is brotherly love.
Would you mind stepping over there for a moment? That's fine.
Up we go. Cause what we need is brotherly love.
Oh, some game. Grab the Busty's hand and he swings it around there and says, ah,
whack you.
Now what's this?
Wham. This way to the preserved seats, 'cause what we need is brotherly love.
Nice job.
Thanks, Cap.
'Cause what we need is brotherly love. What? Well, blow me down. Hey, gentlemen, just a moment there. What we need is a little brotherly love. That'll stop all the fighting after. Oh!
And your brotherly love.
What we all need is a brotherly love. Why, you can't go wrong. Oh, with brotherly love. Oh. Hey, oh, ow. Hey, got it, brotherly. Cause what we need is brotherly love.
Why?
Let me suck that guy.
Let me suck.
Come on,
Give me that.
Here, give me that club.
Even Steven. No cold glitter.
Oh.
I'll teach them brotherly love. Oh, what a mess. Stop it! I'll teach you
Now I teaches them my way. Let me at you. Step it. Step right up and get it. Come on. One at a time.
Hello, Clarence.
Hello, Percival.
Step right up and get your brotherly love here. That's it. Oh. Cause what we need is brotherly love.
That was definitely Jack Mercer doing the voice of Popeye there. In a great classic Popeye cartoon called Brotherly Love from 1936. Great music, great example of a full-on Popeye cartoon, the kind of Popeye cartoon that we're used to seeing. Next one I'm going to show you is my personal favorite. It's called Little Sweet Pea. It's the first appearance of Sweet Pea in cartoons, and I'll turn off the microphone and let this play, but before I go, take note of the tremendous three-dimensional model that Popeye's working through. They did this for a lot of their cartoons, mostly for their sing-along cartoons during this period, but sometimes for Betty Boop and sometimes for Popeye. Give it a look. And they're still using the Brotherly Love theme, too.
I'll surprise her with these flowers.
Oh.
I brought you orchids.
flowers.
Hello, Olive. I come to take you to the zoo to see the animals.
I'm too busy, Popeye.
Oh, you're lost.
But you can take Sweet Pea.
Huh?
Okay.
Come on, Sweet Pea, we're going to the zoo.
Don't let him get scared.
Oh, I'll take good care of him. Don't worry about that. Well, zoodly-oo.
Remember, don't frighten him. Oh, what a man.
Whoa, Sweet Pea. Oh, Sweet Pea. What? Oh, there you are. Here's the zoo. Whoa, Sweet Pea. Oh, Sweet Pea. Whoa.
I wonder where he went to, huh? I see you hiding under there, Or maybe he crawled up in it. I know where he is. There he... Oh, well...
Whoa, Sweet Pea. Oh. Hey, get away from that dangerous elephant. You want to get hoided? Come on now, be a good little boy. Come on, come on, come on. Whoa. Hey. You can't do this to me. I'm a taxpayer. Oh. Oh. Oh, your pack's a mean drunk, I say. Hey. Whoa. Oh. Oh, he's trying to tell me something. That's what it is. All right, young fella. That'll give you something to remember. Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea, come back here. Hey, look at, oh, serpent and dragon up it. Oh, oh. All right, zipper mouth, you asked for it.
Sleep tight, young fella. You've chucked your last chuck.
Oh, oh. Hey. Oh, Sweet Pea. Oh, Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea. Whoa. How did you get in there? Look out. Oh. Whoa. What's the thing? Oh. 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 Why, you overstuffed little... Oh. Oh. You've been a very naughty boy. That'll teach you. If you wants to play with aminals, play with this.
Huh? Well, what's the matter with that now? Ain't that cute, huh?
Oh. There's no ifs or maybes. I'll never have babies. I'm Popeye the Sailor.
Okay, I love that cartoon. I absolutely love that cartoon. I love the music, I love the pacing, I love the gags, and I love the fact that it has a great punchline. It has an absolutely terrific punchline. And Popeye says, there's no ifs or maybes. I'll never have babies. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I love it. I love it. All right, next. What did I put next on my list? Sinbad the Sailor, 1936, that same year. And we're going to watch the first of the long-form special Popeye cartoons. Fleisch's made 3 of them in the 1930s. They are 17 to 20 minutes long. They're in full color, and this is the first one. And you've probably seen this. Probably everybody has seen this at some point. It's a beautiful piece of work. Great music. What a great print of it too. Just the picture. Get the full picture of him. Again, look for the great 3D models and listen for Jack Mercer and the other characters muttering to themselves all through the cartoon. This is another example of a great bit, great animation, great music, and a great ending. Talk to you later.
I'm Sinbad the Sailor, so hardy and hale. I live on an island on the back of a whale. It's a whale of an island, that's not a bad joke. Its lord and its master is this handsome bloke. Oh, the most remarkable, extraordinary fellow. Sinbad the Sailor. I scare all creation on land or on sea, but talk about women, they all fall for me. I take my adventures wherever they're found. I don't want to brag, folks, but I've been around. Oh, the most phenomenal, extra special kind of fellow. Sinbad the Sailor. From the Valley of Serpents, these diamonds I took. I clean out those serpents with one dirty look. Serpents. Oh, look at this monster so strong and so huge. He'd frighten King Kong, but he's only my stooge. The capture of Bula for me was just fun. Whoever said 2 heads were better than 1? Ha ha!
cheating, lousy sailor! How do you like it? Stooges, oh,
On one of my travels, I ran into this. Now, there was a thrill I'd be sorry to miss. He spread out his wings and the sunlight grew dim. He took me in his feet, but I ran off with him. Oh, the most remarkable, extraordinary fellow. Sinbad the sailor. Oh, the most phenomenal, extra special kind of fellow. Sinbad the sailor. I'm afraid of nobody under the sun. All I say is boo and my enemies run. Who's the most remarkable, extraordinary fellow?
It's Popeye the Sailor Man. Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm strong to the finish 'cause I eat me spinach. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm one tough gazookas which hates all palookas, but takes honey up and square. I biffs and I bops 'em and always out-roughs 'em, but none of them gets nowhere. If anyone dashes to risk me fist, it's pop and it's wham, understand? So keep good behavior, that's your one lifesaver with Popeye the Sailor Man. Oh, I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm strong to the finish, 'cause I eat me spinach. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
Who fills the air with a note so sour and dares to challenge Sinbad's power? Why, I'll fix him. Wreck that ship. But bring me the woman.
What happened? Oh, Popeye! Oh, let me go, let me go, let me go! No, 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 don't let me go, don't.
Oh, man, the lifeboat. Oh, that was a nice ship we had once. Hey, did you see the same thing I saw? I'm gonna take another look at that thing, see what that was. That's the biggest buzzard I ever saw. Look at the fellow go, will you?
Where am I? Hey, keep away from me, you! Stop that! Let me alone! Don't do that! I'll punch you right away!
Come here.
I won't!
Get up, sugar, and give us a little smack.
I'll give you a smack all right there!
Hey, we gotta save olive oil. Come on, Wimpy, hurry up before it's too late. Into the brink. Mo, skeet and scat and skin the one and drum the beam the bum skeet scat skin the one and do the bum the bum the bum the bum. End of the line, everybody up. Oh, what is this? The Isle of Sinbad, enter not, or whosoever passeth in, passeth out. Sinbad. Somebody put a
luncheon.
Well, here I go within it. Ooh, I don't like this place at all. Sorry I ever came in here. It's kind of spooky to me around here. What's this? Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, trying to scare me like that, huh? Can you imagine that dumb mama nose trying to scare me like that, huh? Oh, can you read that? Oh. Oh, I'm coming, Olive. I just got a little wall here. Oh. Do I hear footprints or something? Oh. Stop! You Hey. Oh.
Who invited you?
I did. What are you going to do about it, huh? How did you get in here?
Oh. Fouled again. I must resort to my last hamburger. Oh. Oh. Huh?
Hey, I wants me Goyle.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Who are you?
Who am I?
You heard what I
Who
said.
am I?
That's what I said.
Why? Who's the most remarkable, extraordinary fellow?
That's not a picture,
Who's the most phenomenal, extra special kind of fellow? I'm all made of nobody under the sun. All I say is, boo when my enemies run. Who's the most remarkable, extraordinary fellow? Who?
Popeye the Sailor.
What?
You better fix your shirt there, young fella. Hey, hey,
Well,
let me
let's
down.
see how great you are.
Hey, let me down, you big... Oh. Whoa. Oh, what's this? Hey, let me down, you big overgrown canary. What are you doing? Take me for a ride or something? Hey, let me loose, I said. I'm not going your way. Come on, let me go. Hey. Oh. There you are, with gravy. The old goose has cooked this guy. Hey, hey, don't you think we better talk this thing over?
Try and get out of this one.
Oh, my head, foot. Oh.
Comfort to sleep, my baby kid, my peaches and cream, my baby kid. If you don't sleep, my baby kid, I close for you your two eyes like this. Yeah.
Oh, 2 against 1, huh? How do you like that?
What for you like that Popeye smack our face? How do you like about that? You hold that Popeye in this hand. By carbonate, if I had that mug in this hand, I make from him special dish of chop fricassees. I don't like chop Popeye fricassees. I make for you to like it.
Oh, why you two-headed face for I'll fix you. How do you like that? Come on, you're gonna take a double header this time. Wham! Well, I guess I fixed those two fellas. I won't hear from them anymore. Oh, yeah? Who's gonna make who like chicken fica-sika-sisi, huh?
There's only room for one great sailor in this world. And that's me.
Oh, says you. We're gonna come to terms right now. Oh, yeah? What do you mean, your island? Is that so? That's too bad, huh? Hey, what are you doing? Hey, you can push me just so far. That's all I gotta say now. Beat for beat, kiddo. That's what I gotta say. Take that. Hey. Oh. Oh. Peekaboo. I sock you. Oh. Oh, hey. Oh.
What do you like that?
Oh, do you give up? What are you, a fresh guy or something? I'll show you. I can see. Up. Don't leave me now. Oh. Oh. Take that. How do you like that? Come on, get up and fight me.
Give it to him, Popeye! Give him the Twister Punch!
Whisker punch coming up. Take that. That's me. You're gone, places, young fella. Who's the most remarkable, extraordinary fella?
Sure!
Popeye the Sailor!
There we are. It was Popeye meets Sinbad the Sailor from 1930. What year did I say? 1936. That's what I thought. We had two people come in while the cartoon was going on. Cranky and Detroit Smash on Mixer. Thank you for coming in. We've been watching classic Betty Boop and Popeye cartoons for the last 3 hours, and I'm just about done. If you all are still here, thank you for coming in. I think I may end it there. I have a few more that I wanted to show, but this has been going on too long, honestly, and there hasn't been much viewership at all. So that's it for our great Betty Boop and Popeye marathon. I did a great deal of teaching about animation history, about the history of the Max Fleischer Studios in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. Actually, I only got up to 1936 here. Didn't even get to the 1940s, just the 1920s and 30s. I had a great time. I love these cartoons. I do wish more people had been watching. Anyone who watches this in the future, please take note of the donation address on screen here and in the description below, wherever you happen to be watching. 50th Street Studio is a nonprofit, and we do need your donations. And with that, I'm going to say good night. I don't know. I haven't put anything on the schedule as far as next Saturday's movie. I might not do one. These streams have been very poorly attended, and I don't know if I should continue. I do have a stream scheduled for Tuesday at 4 o'clock Pacific, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. I will be doing a live stream talk show. My guest will be Skip Elsheimer of AV Geeks. As far as next Saturday, I don't know. I might not schedule anything. I'll see what people say, because I've been very disappointed about the attendance, especially tonight. But with that, I'll say good night.